Hey everyone, in this video, let's take a look at question 121, best time to buy and sell a stock on Leetcode. This is part of our blind 75 list of questions, so let's begin. In this question, you are given an array of prices where prices of I is the price of a given stock on the ith day. You want to maximize your profit by choosing a single day to buy one stock and then choosing a different day in the future to sell that stock. We want to return the maximum profit you can achieve from this transaction. If you cannot receive any profit, then you'll return zero. So let's take a look at the examples to kind of see how they arrive at these conclusions. So I will paste this in here. In the first example, we have these set of prices, and I will just mark down the days here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and day number 6. We can see that if we buy on day number 2 of price of 1 and sell on day number 5 of price at 6, then we have our answer, which is profit of 5. And we can actually see that this is the max profit we can achieve. Even if we buy here and we sell over here, well, that's just a profit of 3. Even if we do 3 and 5, that's a profit of 1. So this one is the maximum one. In this case here, no matter where we really buy, we cannot sell in the future because it's always going to be selling for a lower price. And technically here, like even if the price was the same, like 6 here and then 6 here, you're still making just a profit of 0. So in that sense, we would just return 0. Okay, so given that we have this information, let's see how we can maybe go about solving this. So I want to give myself a little bit of space here. But I want us to notice a couple of things, right? Let's consider a simple case. Let's consider maybe just 3 items, right? Like 7, 1, and then 5, right? Instead of considering the entire array, let's just consider like an array with like 3 days. Okay, so what's one thing we notice, right? Well, one thing we notice is that initially, assuming we just have like 1 day, right? We want to consider the first day as a potential buying day, right? Because it's possible that like maybe this was like, like I don't know, maybe like assume this was like a 2 and then this was like a 1. Well, then we would definitely want to buy here and then like sell on like day 3, right? Which is 5. So basically we always want to start off with the first day. So we can make that observation. So start off with first day as buy position, right? Now, here's the thing that we have to understand. If we start on the first day, then in the future, what are we looking for? Well, we're looking to make a profit. And the only way we can make a profit is if the position that we started off with, which is a 7, if my current stock price is greater than that 7, then we can make a profit, right? So if current I guess we'll just call it prices at I, is greater than buy position, then profit. I'm not saying this is the best profit, but I'm saying this is a potential profit, right? It's possible that later on we can have even a better profit. For example, let's say we just had this list over here. Well, this is a profit, right? 1 and 5 is a profit, but also 1 and 6 is a profit. So I'm not saying it's the best one, but it is definitely one of the profits. Okay, so we can make that conclusion. Now, what about otherwise? Well, if you think about this one, if we start off at a high value and then we go to a low value, then we can also buy from this low value, right? It's not guaranteed, or we don't have to necessarily buy from this high value. And if you really think about this one, it actually makes sense to buy from the low value. Why? Because the low value here, it will have two ways of making a profit. So what I mean by that is, and again, this is like you kind of have to do a couple of examples to see this. But let's say our graph was something, our array was something like 1, 2, and then maybe something like 9, right? Here it's 7, 1, 5. Here it's 7, 1, 9. Well, maybe let's do, instead of 9, let's do 6. Or, yeah, actually, we can do 9 as well. That's fine. So here, what do we notice? Well, we notice here that from 7 to 9, that's a profit of 2, right? But we can see this from 7 to 1, we can't really do anything. We can't really have a profit here. What we can do is when we arrive at 1, we can say that, okay, instead of the 7, why don't I even buy at a lower price? Okay, so I bought at a lower price here. So now I'm buying at this price here. Now in the future, all I need the price to be greater than this lower price over here. Now that price, when you arrive at the 9, it might even be greater than the 7, which is completely fine. But what we notice here is that we will make a better gain if we bought from a lower price and then we just go above that, right? So here, even if the price is like something like 5, right? Here we make a gain of 4, whereas if you bought from 7, you would make no gain whatsoever. Here, the gain is 9, right? And even 7 can sell at 9, but basically here the gain would be 8. So if you think about this, really, like you have a better option here of actually buying from a lower day, right? So let's maybe just try to translate this into code to see if we can maybe just like make it more concrete. So first of all, what do I want to check? Well, we know that prices will always have an element. So one thing we could do is like something like best day, and we can set it equal to the current day, right? Price is at 0. Or we can set it equal to current at 0. And then we can go through the rest of the prices. And this one, I'm going through start from index 1 because we already processed index 0. Now, what do I notice about this? Well, let's say we're over on this one, and then we're now here, right? So basically, can I make a profit from this? I can't really make a profit from that, right? Because it is a lower value here. So I can actually check this. So I can check if prices of I is less than, I guess like best, maybe I can just call it best price here, best price. If it's less than best price, then I can't really make a profit. Otherwise, I can make a profit, right? So let's maybe handle the case where I can make a profit. So maybe it goes from like 7 to 8. Okay, so in this case, if I can make a profit, then my profit would be prices of I minus whatever the best price was, right? Now, let's say if we had, in this case, let's say we had something like 7, 8, and then maybe like all the way like 12 over here, right? So in this case, our profit initially would just be 1. But that's not our maximum profit, right? That's just the maximum. That's just the profit so far. So we actually want to keep track of the maximum profit, because the maximum profit in this case would actually be from 7 all the way to 12. So we can keep track of maximum profit. And initially, we can just actually set it equal to 0, right? Because that's the maximum profit really we can have. And in the end, we can just return maximum profit. Now, what we can do is maximum profit would be equal to max of maximum profit and the current profit that we have. So initially, it's just going to be 0, and then this one will be 1. So this one will be changed to 1. But then later on, it will go from 1, and then it can actually change to whatever 12 minus 7 is, right? So 5. So that can be the maximum profit in that case. So this is the case where the current item is actually greater than the item that we initially bought at. But what about the case where it's less than? Well, if it's less than, then what can we do here? Well, if you think about it, it doesn't really make sense to then buy at this bigger location here, right? Because if our example was something like 715, and then we can see from 7.1 we can't really make a profit here, well then why are we buying at like a higher one? Why not just buy at a lower one? And then here, no matter where the price goes, if it's a little bit even higher, then we can make any sort of profit. It doesn't have to even go above this 7, but since we're buying at a lower price, then we can basically make any sort of profit. So here, what we can actually do is we can do best price would actually be the minimum of what? Minimum of best price and the current price that we're at. This is at I, right? And that's basically all there is to this question. So let's take a look and we'll run the example test cases. And it passes, and we can click submit. And it also passes. Now you may be asking, why are we doing like minimum of best price and then prices of I? Why are we not just setting it equal to prices of I? Well, if you consider a case where it's something like, let's say we have something like 7, 6, and then maybe we have let's see, a 4 here, and then we have a 9 here, and then maybe we will have a 5 over here, right? In this case, and let's say maybe like a 10 over here, right? In this case, what is the minimum prices, right? So over here, I'm just gonna put like best price here. So best price will initially start off at 7, then we will go to 6, then we'll go to 4. Now from 4 to 9, that's actually not the best price, so we will not do anything there, right? So actually maybe here we need to do let's see, what would make more sense here. I think what I want to do here is, yeah, I want to do 5 over here. I want to do 5. Okay, perfect. So we can go from 4 to 9. So that will actually give us a profit of 5. And then we could consider 9, but then we don't actually want to buy at 9 because it's greater than our existing like best price of 4. Then if we go to the 5, well, we see that 5 is less than 9, right? But it is not the best one. We can buy even lower. We can buy at 4. So then why don't we buy at 4 and then sell at 10? That would be better than buying at 5 and then selling at 10. So that's why we have to take into account this minimum price here. And so that's basically the question. So if you just jot down a few examples, then it should really make sense as to how we're going to be approaching this. So as for time and space complexity, well, we're not really storing anything, so space is constant here. Time is just the length of the list. We're just going through that once.